So my name is Nicole Rogers, and this is my Laughing Lavender U-Pick farm. I started this project in 2016, and I took a trip to Nova Scotia and I visited Seafoam Lavender. And they were really sweet and helpful, and part of their business was a U-Pick. So I thought, as something that I'm doing part-time as a hobby, I could certainly run a U-Pick. So that's kind of how the idea took off. First year I opened, I didn't know if I would open that year because I didn't know what to expect. The plants were so small the year before, but I came out here one day on a Tuesday and I was like, wow, everything's really coming along and there's quite a bit here. I'm gonna open. So I went in the house and I made a Facebook page and I opened that Friday, and 3 weeks later, the plants were small, but everything was completely gone. Lavender is a perennial plant. There's very little maintenance that goes into the lavender once it's in the ground. It essentially gets 2 prunes a year. It gets pruned through the summer when people come in to harvest flowers, and then it will regrow somewhat through the late summer and into the fall, and then come into the spring, I'll trim off all the dead bits. You will notice I do have a black tarp down, and that was basically because I love gardening, but I really hate weeding. It would just be an insurmountable task to try to keep that weeded. And I think the additional benefit to weed suppression is that because it's black, it warms the earth earlier in the spring, and I think that the plants get a little bit more of a head start. So the people that come to the lavender patch, some of them are just coming because they think it sounds like a neat thing to do. They're not sure what to do with the lavender themselves. So in a lot of cases, they're just taking it home to use it for a fresh cut bouquet. And once it's dried, it will stay as a really nice looking bouquet I have some that are a couple years old myself. I've had several wedding parties over the years come in and they're picking the flowers for their entire wedding, their tables, all of their floral bouquets, and doing the arrangements themselves at a really great cost. And I have also had people creating with lavender themselves, people who are doing soaps and other medicinal type projects with the lavender. So, there's a lot of ideas people can use. In the field here you can see the first half, the lighter lavender, it's called Munstead. Then there is a middle section of darker purple lavender, and that's called Blue Hidecoat. It's definitely a favorite for the color. My personal favorite is not in bloom yet. It's called Phenomenal. It's got really, really long stems. The lavender flower heads are twice as big as the other varieties I carry, and it has a little bit of a eucalyptus-y smell to it. So it is my favorite, and I think down the road I'd like to incorporate more of that type of lavender into my patch. I would like to look at the opportunity to perhaps get into maybe distilling a bit of my own lavender oil. With that, I could do perhaps soap and some other products. All of my varieties are English varieties, so they are culinary. We have done lavender lemonade here. My daughter had a lemonade stand, and that was a real hit, I have to say. My favorite part of running the lavender farm is just meeting people. I have the same people come back year after year, and some of them are tourists that come to PEI every year, and we've become one of their stops. I've never had somebody come here and seem cranky or upset. Everybody just seems to really enjoy it, and I'm just happy to share that with people.